Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and today we've got a Unity-packed day. What do we got going on today? Well, first, the biggest news is we have a new Unity release, specifically Unity 6.2 Beta. On top of that, we also have a Mega Bundle I never actually did a video on, so I'm going to shove it into this one, and then a reminder about two other bundles that are going on right now of interest to Unity developers. This level, by the way, that you see right here, this is from one of those bundles. So it's like a sci-fi scene setting. A chance to get a ton of Unity content for a pretty good price. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. What we're looking at today, this is Unity 6.2 Beta. And I gotta be honest, there's not really a ton in this release. There's three major features. Realistically, two of them I can demonstrate, and one of them I'm actually going to hold off for its own video. Now, the first one that we're gonna demonstrate here is, well, first off, if you wanna go ahead and grab this guy, bring up the Unity Hub, go into Installs, Pre-Releases, Install Editor, and then you'll find it there under the pre-release category. Unity 6.2 Beta is now available. Obviously, this is a beta. Do not use this in a production environment. Just don't. Even though I know many of you are going to break that rule. So here we go. This is, again, our world. Our biggest new feature of this update requires a prop of some sort. So here you see I have a number of FBX files. I'm going to bring in this rubble pile over here and drop it down there. Standard importing process. When you go to the import settings for an object, though, you will notice something new. You now have mesh LODs. So you can actually generate LODs. This is different than LOD groups. It's actually going to generate multiple versions of your mesh at different polygon counts. It'll automatically do it for you. So here, let's go ahead and generate them. Once you have selected that, you do have options over here. You can limit the number of LODs to the maximum levels over there. You can discard the odd levels, etc. And then once you've got something you like, just basically go ahead and click apply. And now it'll re-import it there. Let's drop our rubble into the world. So there you can see our rubble. So this has multiple different resolutions now available for it, but you'll notice over here, it has this LOD section right here. We can do an LOD override, or I can basically say what bias do I want, and I can switch between the different LOD groups. So each one of these is going to have a little bit more polygons to count, and you're going to probably find eventually it isn't really that useful, but let's go through that again with that zoomed in. So there's maximum LODs, and then as we drop down there. So these are actually being generated on import when the object is being brought in. And once again, it's in the, go to the object settings, go here, and you can basically generate it via the LODs right there. If you do not want them, get rid of them. And then what you'll notice here, that goes away. So that is probably the biggest new usable feature for the average masses here. There's another thing in here as well. UI Toolkit now has world space coordinates for basically placing things in the world. Very useful if you're doing VR or AR. And then we have one other feature, major feature, the marquee feature in Unity 6.2. And I think this is going to get its own video. So I'm not going to go into it in very much detail other than when we get to the release notes in just a second. But it's this. Notice this guy. And by the way, you can't get rid of this. AI. There is now an AI button here, and AI tools, AI models, AI everything is in there. Their existing AI solutions, Muse, has basically been killed off. Centis has been renamed, and so on. So they basically have remodeled their entire integrated UI AI aspects to this particular release. So let's go and head on over to here, and we're going to go through, again, some of those bundles that are available, and then we will come back to the new features in 6.2 Beta. So first off, we do have this going on right now, this Mega Bundle. I never covered it specifically on the channel. It's interesting. They're taking a different approach with this. By the way, if you use my link to buy it from link down below, you do help support my channel. Because see, this was actually organized into tiers from a $5 tier, then to a $25 tier, and then to a $99 tier. So they've definitely added, there's a more, like a larger price range in what's there, and you get an idea of all the contents that are available in this particular bundle if you're interested. Now, not too much that I already own, which at least that's a nice part of it, so it'd be a lot of new content in this particular bundle. But yeah, they've definitely ramped up the price on this bundle. Let me know what you think of that pricing overall. And again, a quick reminder, I mentioned this in my last Unity video. It's still ongoing. There are a pair of bundles going on over on Gumroad. You can get this 15 pack of bundles, so all of the environments you see here, including this one, the stylized cyberpunk street environment. That is what we saw in action today in this video. This is one such asset from the bundle. You see here you get 15 of them total. It looks like it's $99, but it's not. Use the code SN70. It drops 70 bucks off of that price. It becomes $39.99. And then there is a lesser bundle here. This one shows as $49.99. Use the code SN40. It drops the code down by 40 bucks to $9.99. And here you are getting 6 environments. So that's a nice set of bundles going on. Again, I'm not sure about the Unity bundle being 99 bucks, but I'm curious what you guys ultimately think of that. But now let's get back to the Unity 6.2 details. All right. So the big thing, the marquee feature, the thing they talk about first is Unity AI. And I'm just going to read this verbatim. Again, this is one of those things I'm going to probably come back to with its own dedicated video, hopefully tomorrow morning after I get a chance to play around with this stuff. But I am super curious what you guys think of this. So with the release of Unity 6.2, we are introducing Unity AI, our integrated suite of AI tools designed to assist with your development workflow directly within the Unity editor. With Unity 6.2 enters general availability, Unity AI will replace both Muse and Sentis. Now, Muse was where they did all their generative stuff, their AI chatbot, their texture animator, texture creator, animation creator, and a couple of other things. Those were all Muse services. And then Sentis is their ability to run basically compiled AI models. It's been around forever. It used to be free. It's now been rebranded to Sentis, and now Sentis has been rebranded to Inference Engine. Provided improved features, better editor workflow integration, expanded model choices, and more flexible pricing. Note that all Unity AI features are completely optional to install and use. Although, however, if you are an absolute hater, this button right now is going to be there regardless to what you do. Just one of those things you want to be aware of. So Unity AI consists of 3 main components. Assistant is a contextual helper that answers questions about your project, generates pre-compiled code, and can execute agentic actions like batch renaming files or placing multiple objects in a scene, drag project assets into prompts, or query selected console errors, replaces Muse chat. I actually have played around with the system a bit, and it's probably the coolest and least, say, controversial part because it's trained off of user workflow inside of Unity, user code in Unity, not off of other people's art assets. Speaking of other people's art assets, we come to generators. It's improved tools for creating sprites, textures, animations, and new sound generation capabilities. Generator published directly into supported Unity assets for a seamless workflow. This replaces the Muse sprite, texture, and animate functionality. It is more tightly integrated. Hopefully, I will showcase that in the other video. This is the Gen AI side of things, and it's the most polarizing side of things, and they have licensed, it sounds like Stable Diffusion is one of their model sources. So if you have ethical issues for Stable Diffusion, you have ethical issues with their use of generators. Just something to be aware of. And then they have Inference Engine. This used to be called Sentis. This is for running AI models inside of Unity. In all honesty, I've never really understood a use case on this one. Just one of those things to be aware of. So it's got in-editor installation. That the AI button is what it's there for. It will download it. It is free during the beta, and eventually we'll switch to a points system. And then in terms of privacy, Unity AI uses your provided content data to execute AI model inferences. You can opt out of content data sharing for AI model training through the Unity dashboard coming June during the Unity 6.2 beta. This is critical. This is what's going to make Unity AI either to be an absolute tire fire or an optional feature some people might like. If they're training off of people's data, Muse is dead on arrival. Just one of those things to be aware of. I do believe they will cover it in the FAQ a bit more about the FAQ, a little bit more about what they've done here. Now, the other thing we already looked at earlier on, there has this new mesh LOD system, so it automatically generates levels of detail at import, optimizing assets and reducing iteration times without the need for external tools. Stores all your LODs within a single mesh, minimizes memory usage while simplifying workflows for both static and skinned meshes. And then the other thing that I didn't demo here is the World Space UI for UI Toolkit. UI Toolkit being their new 2D UI layering of the rendering system for UI that they added in 6.1, maybe 6.0. So you can render UI directly in World Space for immersive XR and gaming environments. So basically, if you want to kind of put your 2D elements, your UI elements into a 3D world, it enables you to render directly into the world. It's one of the options there. And then the good thing is you're fully integrated in, so post-processing filters work, it will remain sharp at distances or size, and so on. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is a nutshell of the 6.2 release. Not a ton here if you don't like AI. There is a lot of changes in the AI side. You got details about it here. How much will it cost? We do not know. This is important. It is ultimately going to be a points thing. Points will be bundled with Unity Pro, Enterprise, and Industry plans, and then you can buy points separately. Again, until we know the pricing, who knows? So that's going to be found out when Unity 6.2 is ultimately released. Muse has basically been renamed of everything there. Muse is ultimately going to be shut down and deals with what your credits are going. You can cancel early if you wish. And then various different assets will still be, but the integrated Muse functionality is going to be completely replaced. Centis, again, has been renamed to the inference model or inference engine. AI models that are used are available over here. We'll look at that in just a second. How are AI generated assets managed in my project? It will get a metadata file that states this asset was generated with AI. That's one of those things you want to realize. Now, if you publish on a store and you use AI in your generation, you need to mark that. And there are people out there that will straight out not use it. So now we got how your data is actually used. Now, this is applying to the beta. This could change with Unity 6.2. When you use AI during the initial 6.2 beta release, data related to your use of Unity AI includes prompts, responses, and interactions will only be used to provide the AI service for your exclusive benefit and will not be used to train AI models. For example, if you upload a reference image to generate a truck sprite, we do not use your source image to train or improve the generative image model. In future 6.2 beta release, you will be able to manage your data settings, including whether to share your Unity AI data for AI model training purposes. We will post an update on the discussions. When this happens, it had better be opt out and not opt in. So that is the details of the AI. Again, we don't even know about what the pricing is going to be at this point in time. Okay, so this link here about my partners, what models they're using, yeah, they're using 404 apparently. So if you're interested, there is more detail about how the LOD system works. A lot of the stuff behind it. I think this is going to be the most tangibly useful thing that we've got at this point in time. Breakdown of how it works from a programming perspective as well, and how it relates relative to LOD groups, which are a separate thing. So there are more details available there. If you're interested, Unity 6.000.2 is out there. So you'll notice that we got release notes available here. Not really. So there's, your typical bug fixes, etc. in here as well. But for the most part, the highlights we covered back here. So we got Unity AI, the LOD system, and WorldSpace UI for UI toolkits. So that's what you got. By the way, once again, quick reminder, and the links will be down below. You do have these two bundles available specifically for the Unity game engine. This one, use the code SN40. You can get it for $9.99. This one, use the code SN70. You'll get it for $39.99. And then the mega bundle is running for 20 more days here. Again, I'm interested to hear what you think of Unity's pricing on this particular bundle as well. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new version of Unity, Unity 6.2 beta, and the star of the show is this one, which I will eventually agree to install it and do a hands-on video. If there's something specific you want to see me cover, please do let me know, and I will do my best. All right, that's it. What do you think of Unity 6.2? What do you think of Unity AI? And yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.